So this video has been delayed, long awaited. So to start off, hi, my name is Mika. I am an Ivy graduate and I recently got my Ivy diploma. So whether you're new or not, you clicked on this video for a reason based on the title, and I'm about to tell you everything about the Ivy program. Not necessarily like everything, but I will tell you everything from my experience and some of my classmates. So to start off, if you are an incoming freshman, if you are already in the middle of the IB program, if you're in your pre-IB classes, I'm basically just gonna kind of explain everything, postgraduate thoughts, and what you should know before getting into the program, because it's a lot. So if you didn't know, IB scores came out on July 6th, and these are the scores that basically tell you whether or not you pass and you get your IB diploma along with your high school diploma. I did record my reaction, so I'm just going to insert that here. It's July 6th, it's 11:12 a.m. IB scores came out. Everything for the past 4 years leads up to this moment. And I don't know how to log in. How do I log in? I mean, I know how to log in, but I found it. Oh no. I woke up to so many texts, people telling me, did you pass? Did you pass? I wanted to have breakfast. I wanted to chill out a little bit this morning before I actually check my scores. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why is it so slow? I mean, everyone's probably trying to check their scores right now. This is so nerve-wracking. It needs to load. I turned white. This is... I most likely passed, given the circumstances of the past, like, year and a half, almost. It's taken forever. Cheers. It's still not loading. Oh! It just loaded. It just loaded. Results. Oh! It says the site can't be reached. Everyone, get out of the way. I don't really have a predicted score, but I kind of forgot what my class. Anyways, my 3 HLs. I did HL ITGS, HL Spanish, HL English. English, I think I got a 5. Spanish, I think I got a 4. ITGS, I think I got maybe a 6. SL Math, Apps and Interpretations, I probably, probably a 4. History, I think I did fine. I think I did like a 5 or a 6. History, what am I forgetting? Chemistry, maybe like a 4. It just keeps changing a bit after a bit. Oh, my battery's gonna die. I thought it would load in the time I was getting another battery, but it didn't. It loaded. 3, 2, 1. I passed, guys! I passed! Wow! Okay, I passed. Okay, so for my scores individually, I am more surprised. Okay, my scores for my classes, I did pretty well. But for my EE and my TOK essay, not so well. But that doesn't matter because I still passed and got the diploma. I just didn't get any awarded any of those like extra points. So I'm just gonna go in order that they're listed. So for my language A, which is English, it was one of my HLs. I got a 5. I mean, I'm not really surprised. It was like only one essay. I mean, I'm not like the greatest at English, but I'm not like the worst. Okay, well, I just tried to click detailed results, but then the connection just disconnected. Okay, how do I just go back? Okay, I should have just stayed on the website. It just like froze now. Spanish, HL, I got a 6. And that was hard. I had no idea what I was talking about. And then for history, SL, I got a 5. Not really surprised there. ITGS, HL, I got a 6. Not really surprised. Chem, I got a 5. A little surprised there. Math I got a 6. I don't know how that happened, but I got a 6. I thought I was gonna get like a 4 or 5. My Spanish EE, that was like done in sophomore year, I think we started. I did Spanish because I thought if it was in another language, they give me a little slack because it's not my main language, but I was like, why not? I worked really hard for it, but I got a D. I didn't really have any benefits to it except for like extra points, but apparently I didn't need them anyway. So for TOK, I got a C. Not really surprised there. Like the essay wasn't even that hard, but like, I don't know. TOK just doesn't make sense. I want to go into the detailed results of my math one. Oh my god, it won't load. Wait. Total scaled moderated mark 65, lower grade 50, upper grade 66. I could have gotten a 7 if I got 2 more points. For my EE, I needed 1 more point to get a C. I needed 1 more point for Chem to get a 6. I'm just gonna look into the details of this and I'll talk to you guys later. Honestly, like, after getting my scores, you kind of feel like, eh. So I don't know, it's not like a whole satisfying, oh, I did all 4 years for that, but it's like, I did all 4 years for that. So first impressions, when I got into the IB program, I did not think I was actually gonna join the program. I was just gonna go to another private high school and not a public school with the IB program, but I can definitely say that decision changed my life. I had no clue what I was going into. All I knew was that it was good for college, that it was gonna get me into a good college, there were good classes that were going to promise me a good future, and I am sure that is how a lot of people will advertise it to the person that is watching this. There's people that are interested in basically going to the IB program. But I am about to break down the whole reality of that and say why you should or should not join the program and whether it is for you or if it isn't for you. And this is no college decision, but this is kind of a big decision for someone that is literally in 8th grade or someone that is in the middle of it thinking about dropping out. So I'm just gonna open your eyes and give you some idea of whether you should stay in it, whether it's worth it in the end or not. So obviously I couldn't stick with one perspective for this video. I needed the help of my classmates. So on my Instagram, I posted a poll that basically said, hey, IB students, whether or not you got your diploma, if you completed the program, do you think it is worth it after seeing your scores? Okay, so the results of the poll were 55% yes and 45% no, and honestly, I just kind of weighed that in as 50-50 based on everyone that answered the poll. For everyone that did say yes, I can see those kinds of people saying yes. For everyone that said yes, I can see how they answered yes, and for people that said no, I'm surprised that some people said no. Also not surprised when some people said no, because we all just kind of got different things out of the past 4 years. I'm going to be breaking this video down into parts, so I'm going to be basically incorporating all the responses that I got after the poll and any DMs that I got. I'm just going to read them off from different opinions of graduates, people that dropped out, people that are in the program, and just all the advice you can get before you actually commit yourself to this. So what to know before you actually get in the program. So when you do go to the IB program, there is a whole applying situation to see if you qualify for it. I don't know if they do this for every school, but we had this IB boot camp. They give you math tests, and so I think we only did a math test, but they do place you into classes to see where you are and what classes you should take. There are specific course requirements in order to get into the IB program. First, the way it works is that you have your pre-IB classes, which are your first 2 years, which are to prep you for the actual program, which are in your later 2 years. So it almost is like a graduate school kind of thing. So honestly, if I was like a freshman or sophomore, I would actually consider about thinking of like dropping out if I were to before actually getting into the program, just because you are not actually completing like IB courses yet and you're not really committing yourself, because junior and senior year are. So back onto what you should know before getting in. The way it is advertised is very false. I am about to break down the reality of the actual program. First thing you should know, it is not a guaranteed key to success. I feel like it is very falsely advertised. There are so many things that you should know before getting in, because all they tell you is that it's a rigorous program to get you into college. The way they perceive it as is that college is almost like the key to success, which for different people this can be different. So honestly, if you're thinking about going to college, this may be a good idea for you or not. I'll get into that a little later. You should just know that it is not purely the simple way to get into a good college. It is not for everyone, and it may not lead you to where you really want to be. So for one response that I got, I'm gonna keep everyone anonymous just for the sake of this video. I am the only person that anyone can blame if I do say something wrong. Like I said, this is all from my experience. One response that I did get was yes and no. I did get a lot of these. A lot of people couldn't say yes or no because there are a bunch of pros and cons that we will discuss later into the video. The person said in response, yeah, they advertise a lot of things and I feel like only half of them are really true. Like, I would say I appreciate the rigor and all the global mindedness, but if you are just looking for college credits, then doing a lot of APs would honestly be better and less stressful. And then another person said everyone is also like, OMG, Ivy will get you into a really good college or an Ivy League, and that is honestly not promised. There is a lot of pressure that goes into this program, honestly, depending the school that you go into, because for my school, we're kind of like known for having the IB program, and a lot of the teachers put a lot of pressure on us to do well so that they can kind of keep up their reputation. The IB program, and anyone that talks to you about it saying like, oh, you're gonna get into a good college or not, I got into the same college as people that are not in the IB program. Maybe I had better chances, but also I was put through a lot of stress. Leads me into the next point. A lot of people said, you will be mentally challenged. Hello, editing Mika here. I'm gonna pop in and out just because I really want to be consistent and give you guys as much information as possible. I am jumping in here first to say that I did not technically mean like mentally challenged in that way. I am saying mentally challenged as in they challenge your mental health quite a bit, as I will explain later, but I am just basically saying that your mental health is at risk when you join this program if you do not do your best to maintain it, because it can be quite overwhelming. So I'm sorry if I offended anyone by calling it mentally challenged. And I'm not talking about just academics, but also in your social life too, because academics kind of becomes your whole life. They literally have the CAS program just so that you can balance creativity, activity, and service into your life. One of the biggest things, I got this from a lot of people that were very studious and very into their academics. One person said, it's not for people whose only personality or life is being good at academic. I promise you'll waste 4 years being burnt out and miserable and then have an identity crisis as soon as you graduate. I wish I was exaggerating. I had no life outside of school and now I'm trying to figure out how to be a real person at 18. It's not fun. I can see this in a lot of people. A lot of people get so invested in their academics that it kind of, it's like you don't have time for anything else because you're just too busy writing the 4 essays that are due the next day, or if you're studying for the essay that you have to do that next day. You kind of have to have good time management skills in order to be able to make the most out of this program. Someone also said IB is worth it to learn how to critically think but nothing else. It made my anxiety worse and made me feel like I wasn't ever good enough, not worth it in my opinion. Do something that makes you feel fulfilled instead. So if academics is what makes you feel fulfilled and you can actually kind of manage your time and have a social life outside of the program, then maybe the program's for you. But I feel like it can be really hard kind of being in it because you go to school from like 7 a.m. to like 1 p.m. or even like 8 to 3, and it's just a lot to deal with that it's not just academics. It's all books, textbooks, memorization, all of these Quizlets and memorizing everything in order to just pass these IB exams that are at the end of the year in your junior or senior year in order to get your diploma, and it kind of just almost seems like a waste by the end of it if you are not satisfied with your scores, and at the end of it you will only feel mentally drained. And elaborating more on the CAS program and how it does end up swallowing everything, the fact that IB has a program so that you can almost get a grade for things that you're interested in, basically like your creativity, your activity. They basically involve almost every aspect into your life and make it all academics. So when you're over and done with the IB program, once you've done it, it's like, what do I do now? And I've noticed even with myself, you can feel a little lost afterwards if you just don't have that much to do because you were basically doing everything for academics, and now that even creativity and activity is done, it's like I don't really want to do it anymore, you know? If that makes any sense. Decision doesn't seem that big, but it is kind of a big deal if you get into it, because once you're in it, you're kind of almost stuck. Obviously you're not like stuck. You have the option to leave whenever you want, but it can almost seem like a waste of time at
when you do leave, depending on how transferring works, and just kind of dropping the program. What I mean when I say that you're kind of stuck in there, your mind will constantly cycle and say, did I drop out? I'm gonna drop out. No, it's okay, I've already done this long, I'm just gonna stay in it. And then you're gonna be like stressed and mentally drained, and then you're gonna go through the whole cycle over and over again. So it's really important to know what you want to do with this program and what you want to get out of it, and be able to the motivation in like basically this root cause into why you're gonna keep going. Because if you don't really have that, then probably shouldn't before it's too late and you feel like it's a whole waste of time.
So if you really are considering dropping out, like I said, consider doing it in your freshman or sophomore year. You really are being challenged in a sense that it's really competitive. You're gonna be sitting next to people that are really, really smart, and you'll make yourself feel really, really dumb and feel like you're not worth it and that you're not doing enough. And it can really make you feel like you're devaluing yourself, kind of constantly being compared to people with this like competitive program. Before you get into anything, know that your mental health is a priority. Someone said that it is above IB. That no matter if you get your first B, if you get your first D and below and it's not an A, you have to know that your mental health is something that is above everything else, because that's all you're going to be left with when you're done with IB. Because after IB you're left with just you, and honestly you're just kind of thrown out there once you're done with school, because once you're done with academics, what's left? And like I said, my third point is that it can swallow your social life. This becomes every single person like the only thing they can focus on, that everything they do is tied with academics. Like I said, the CAS program even ties you down, any service thing you do. This person said, honestly, the IB program took a lot out of me, and if I had the option to take it again, I'm not sure that I would, considering how much it took. First year I tried to deliberately fail out, but one day I decided I'd try, and looking back, I'm proud to say I passed. But again, was it really worth all the breakdowns and stress? It's different for everyone, but there is always other options in scholarship if it's not the right choice. Overall, personally, could have done without it, but better for the future, I guess. So on to the next portion of this video. I'm going to be talking about how you should max out your experience if you do say, yes, I'm going to take on this challenge of the IB program, because I do want to build good habits and I just want to make the most out of my high school career. Now that statement, I don't know if this is the program that can make the most of your high school career. You are literally 14 to 18 years old. Those are your solid teenage years, and you have to make the most out of it. It's the only time where you can really almost feel free, but academics can tie you down. If you decide to make this big commitment, one thing that I would like you to do is to have a balance. A lot of people talked about time management and how it's a big deal. So one of my friends said, from someone who cared too much about school, please find a good balance between life inside and outside of school, because yes, while grades are important and whatever, you might end up missing out on so many possible memories that you could have made outside of school with friends, or at least that's how I feel, LOL. Also, don't forget to take care of yourself in this stressful and draining program, because it's important to give yourself a break to just breathe and relax. Also, don't be too hard on yourself. From in parentheses, the irony of this coming from a perfectionist, but you can't expect yourself to put in that 110% effort into everything, because it's too mentally draining. I can definitely agree with this, because I feel like it can really be draining. Whatever I apply myself to, I always do 110% of my effort and I do my best. But you need to realize that if you can't meet 110%, if you can't meet 100%, it's okay to just meet halfway and just do your best, because honestly, doing your best is the only thing that you can get out of this program. Also, just being in the program and being compared to everyone, and you're just gonna have this habit of comparing yourself. Do not make that habit of comparing yourself. Know that whatever you do, it is good enough, and this doesn't necessarily represent you. It's just that we applaud you for doing your best, because that's all you can offer, and you can't expect yourself to give something that you don't necessarily have, and that's okay. And it's really hard, because at the end of 4 years, it's like numbers will decide whether yes or no you get this program, and you're like, for 4 years. Moving on, a lot of people just said have balance. If you learn time management, there's time to do enjoyable things. Stay on top of your work, don't procrastinate, study old material often. Another way to max out your experience is that you are going to meet a lot of like-minded people, and you're going to make a lot of friends. This was one of the things that a lot of people said they were in the middle about, because they were able to get a good experience and meet the friends they have now and lifelong friends forever because of the IB program. So if you weren't in the IB program, it's like you you've never met them. I have to say that when you're in the IB program, you are going to be kind of filtered out with other people that do really want to invest in their academics and just kind of stay in the program in the end, and you're left with a bunch of people that have similar work ethics as you, maybe not all the way, but you guys do have the same motivation to actually apply yourself to your academics. And not to shame anyone that was like filtered out, people that are filtered out, maybe it's just like IB isn't for them, and that's, like I said, that's okay. Like people that even dropped out, someone that dropped out of the IB program in freshman year became the valedictorian of the traditional schools, people that were not in IB. It will take you to where you need to be, and if you're filtered out, don't feel ashamed of it. Kind of be proud of where you are and that you kind of honestly got out of it, and if you did make it through the program, good for you. Be proud of all your achievements, but don't feel ashamed if you feel like you're falling back, because you'll just be able to jump ahead. You just have to have the right motivation, mindset, work ethic to be able to boost yourself and get to where you want to be. You are stuck with this community of people and you do make good friends out of it, as you guys have seen in my vlogs. If I was not in the IB program, I would have not made those memories. But because I did find a balance with filming videos, filming vlogs, and making memories, I wanted this to be kind of a whole diary, and I just wanted to show you guys what the high school experience is like. So you can have happy memories out of the IB program if you do not overwhelm yourself, because like I said, mental health is on top of everything. Another thing that maxes out your experience is that it can make good habits for college. Some advice that people have said is that you should keep your priorities straight, stay on track, and know how to balance your time. Don't spend time studying the things you already know, otherwise you're just gonna overwhelm yourself, and once you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it, and don't pressure yourself with that too much. Don't cheat in your foreign language. When I say like habits and stuff for college, I am talking about procrastination and the habit of cheating and just kind of having a good work ethic so that college can be easier for you. I've heard this from a lot of graduates and people that are working now that took the IB program. Life will be a lot easier in IB just because those 4 years are really hard on you, so then everything else in life goes smoothly. So college won't be too much of a pressure for you because you've been through your IAs, you've been through your 16, 22, 25, I forgot the limit, your 4,000 word EE essay, and now you're gonna be doing a bunch of research papers, but then there'll be nothing to you because like you've gone through worse, and IB you've gone through so many harder essays and so much harder assignments to do, and it's like you are ready to take on the world and you're more mentally prepared. You'll be like, wow, this is so easy. I'm grateful that I went through the IB program. So with that being said, I think that is one of the things that you can get out of the IB program, so definitely try to build your habits while you're in the program. Next, I'm going to be talking about other options than the IB program. So these are for the people that said, oh, based on everything you said, that kind of sounds a little scary. I remember in my freshman year, the community colleges around my school, they do this collegiate program where you basically take college courses in your junior and senior year, I believe. They sent out letters to all the IB students because they were kind of targeting us, because they were like, oh, these are the people that are focused in their academics, we can get them ahead. And honestly, I think that any other option can actually get you ahead over IB. IB gets you ahead in college in a sense that it builds your habits and you can have a good work ethic for actually getting through college. But if you want to get college over with and you just want to have the credits, AP and collegiate is a better option. Getting any college credit is a better option if you just want to get ahead. So looking at what some people said, don't do it to get into college, do it for the experience and prep for college and credits. It's honestly just a whole preparation program for college. It's not going to necessarily get you into college, but you'll have good habits, be able to actually get through it. Know your targets, like know what you're getting into. So elaborating on this, APs are only a 1-year course and IB is a 4-year course, and they also have specific designated classes that you must take to complete the entirety of the program. Whereas AP, if you know what you want to do in your future by the time you're in 8th grade, freshman, sophomore year, then I'm sure you can find an AP that will help get you into the major or advance into your major, depending on what college you're going to. So it is a lot to say, like, to have your life figured out in 8th grade. APs are always there. You can always do your best in that, and they'll always be there because it is only a year commitment compared to 4 years. Someone also said make sure you know what you want to get out of it and talk to current students and alumni about it. I am an alumni. I would definitely say that APs are a lot better. I know that people say like, oh, I took 6 AP classes in my junior and senior year, and it can seem really mentally draining, but honestly that kind of seems more worth it in the end because it is for a year, whereas IB is for a whole 4 years, and APs can honestly get you a lot farther than you think compared to the IB program, just because when you are also in the IB program you may be required to take some APs, and some of my teachers didn't even really focus on the actual AP curriculum. It was mostly IB driven. By the time that the exam does come around, you're just like, oh, it's okay, you guys will figure it out, and then they'll actually like burn AP course stuff into your brain before actually going into the AP exam. I would say that IB is probably not the option for you if you want the credits. Back to what I was saying about the foreign language thing. Foreign language is something that may be required of your major depending on where you're going or what you want to take. If you really do want to learn your foreign language, definitely like focus on it and kind of make it a priority because it can really swallow you up, and it can be really hard, especially with the past year. It can be really easy to look up in Spanish dictionary, Google Translate or whatever to look for answers, but by the time the exam rolls around you really do have to pour your knowledge into it because it's really hard when you don't do it. So a lot of discipline goes into it when you have to actually commit yourself to your language. And with the foreign language course, you probably won't have to take it after the IB program because you already fulfilled it with the IB program. So reading more, if you're looking for college credits, skipping classes, and higher GPA more easily, AP is a lot better. It counts a lot more on your transcript. It looks a lot better on your transcript than the IB program does, honestly, because comparing what happened to AP students versus IB students, you get mentally tired, exhausted IB students out of the program versus AP students who have more tangible things that you can show colleges and you can write in your application. You kind of get something more out of it, honestly. Another person said that so far I literally don't think I got Bright Futures, and if you don't know what Bright Futures is, it's basically the Florida State like scholarship, and most of my credits don't matter in college because they have nothing to do with my major, and all the work really meant nothing, and I could have had a better GPA and self-worth and felt smart if I did normal school, but I met my friends and was able to have a close community of people that I can trust and appreciate. So this basically like kind of entails everything. It really applies to me too, because honestly like it will get you far but it won't let you jump far, if that makes any sense. It'll just make the process a lot easier and smoother later on just for these 4 years. And IB doesn't really get you that many credits. It really doesn't do anything for you. When I tell you it doesn't do anything for you, it really doesn't do anything for you. You just learn a lot about yourself. You don't get that much out of it if you're really looking to get ahead into college. And along with the whole habits thing, someone also said perspective and attitude can make or break your grades. This is something that you probably will get out of the IB program over AP. Obviously I've taken AP courses, but like I said, IB teachers are mostly focused on the IB aspect over AP. Based on my experience, if you guys watch my previous videos, you guys would know that I'm going to Florida State, and when I realized that the score on my test, it becomes so broad. So if you know the way that the scoring works, basically if you get at least a 3 I think in your SLs, then you pass, and if you get at least a 4 in all of your HLs, then you basically pass. But what I didn't know is that basically they group 6s and 7s together. If you got a 7, then it doesn't necessarily matter because you got the same grade as a 6. So even if you go higher in your score or if you get a little lower, you're gonna end up grouped from like 3 to 5 and 6 to 7, or 3 to 4 or 5, 6, 7. You all basically come out getting the same thing. So they generalize your grades and don't really commend your efforts in the end, and you all basically get the same amount of credits, or you just don't get as much credits as you thought you would compared to AP. I haven't seen how AP worked, 1 to 5, but you get a point just for writing your name. Think that colleges definitely look into more of your score for AP. If you score higher, more credit, but like I said, IB kind of generalizes for a lot of colleges. And if you haven't gone into the program, it is a lot to think about when you're literally in 8th grade and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what college you want to go to, and you just kind of feel lost. It's a lot for a 14-year-old to kind of think about their whole future ahead of them when they don't really know what they're going going to do now and how to get there or find out what they want to do. So honestly, if you feel a little lost, you don't really know what direction you want to go into, don't do the IB program. If you do have a sense of direction, then do the IB program. So one of the responses from someone that is pursuing STEM, this person said no because even though I'll get credit, there's this pressure to retake the courses, especially because I'm trying to pursue a STEM major. And so while I've covered the same material and gotten good scores on exams, it's college level, so honestly I'm conflicted on it. And it ultimately depends on what you might want to major in. Like if you want to get out of STEM prerequisites, it's good, but I don't know, for me it seems like I'm just going to be stuck repeating stuff. A lot of people really said just know what you want to do, and if you do want to know what you want to do, then go into IB, but if you don't, seriously don't do it. It can almost seem like a waste of time because you didn't get credit for where you want to end up. So yes, this is a very rigorous program. Depending where you go, you will be loaded with a lot of work. A lot of people have said that no matter what happens, you seriously just need to push through it. Everyone is going through it with you. Like I said, you have this community of people. It is not a problem to ask for help mentally or academically. It is okay to get tutoring. It is okay if you just need advice, because it's just something that you're trying to get through for like the next 4 years, and you're just trying to get your diploma just like everyone else. The basic keys to passing the IB program is time management, having a social life, and don't cheat in your foreign language. So for me, I am going into business, and honestly for the program, I think the only thing I really got out of it is friendship, memories, and just kind of like discipline, honestly, and a little bit of motivation with what's left. I'm not really one to prioritize academics on top of everything, so I was able to have a balance. Yep, I basically think I covered everything that people said. I tried to make it as concise as I could. I hope future Mika editing this had a lot of fun editing it.
I did not.
It all just comes down to what you want to do and how you feel in the moment. Just think about what you want to do now and what you don't really want to become, and you'll hopefully end up in some sort of direction. Because when you think too much about the future, there's so many possibilities, and it can be really overwhelmingly shocking for a lot of people because you're just gonna kind of be someplace that you don't want to be. Like I said, it all comes down to you. You really need to prioritize yourself, your mental health over everything else, because the biggest thing is that it's all just down to your efforts and how much you can give. What you can't put on a test, what you can't memorize, it's not your fault. IB necessarily can't really be mad at you for that because they can't really grade your efforts. As long as you put your effort, whatever grade you got, it's honestly okay by the end of it. Another response that I really wanted to read was from the president of my class. Ego has no place in IB. Don't do it for someone else because your parents told you, your friends are in the program, etc. Do it for you, your goals. Before starting this program, finding a reason that motivates you to get up in the morning and face the world's most rigorous academic program, because when times get tough, and they definitely will, you will need something to remind yourself why you are here. That is the biggest thing that anyone can say, because you need to figure out what keeps you grounded and what is going to keep you in the program, because it is a huge commitment. It is not for everyone. In the end, for anyone that decides to go into the program, commit yourself. You can do it. By the end of it, you can feel satisfied by looking at your scores, by getting your IB diploma, and maybe it will take you to places where you want to be. But for people that are considering it or just kind of said no, good for you. Honestly, make the most out of it. It is not necessarily a missed opportunity. It is just a chance for you to see other opportunities, and life will lead you to where you want to be. If you do the IB program or not, you will get to where you need to be in life, whether you make it through it, whether you drop out, whether you're the valedictorian, whether you're the lowest rank in your class, you will end up where you need to be. And sometimes the IB program is not for you. I really hope IBO doesn't come after me for this. Yep. This was kind of a lot, and there is a lot to say about the IB program that I cannot just fit in this video or make it all concise or just summarize it in, like, I don't know, maybe this is a 20-minute video. I definitely have had my fair share of mental breakdowns, stress, anxiety, and all those things, and honestly at the end of it, I don't really know if I can say that I am satisfied by the end of it. Academically, obviously, because my vlogs definitely show something else. If you do have any questions about the IB program, and I will definitely respond to some comments and questions. There is a lot within the IB program that they just don't tell you, and I'd love to give you guys some perspective from inside and out. My battery is dying, but if you guys want to follow me on my personal socials, if you want to see me in my college life, you can follow me on my socials on the bottom of the screen. And if you want to see how my business is doing, I have a small shop called Matcha Mango. You can click the links. Actually, you cannot click the links, but those are the links there, and they will be in the description box below. Like I said, please leave any questions down below, any comments, suggestions, any more advice you have for anyone that is going through IB program and anything like that. Oh my god, my battery's dying. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!